What's up, Taiwan? I'm Erica Liu with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan's foreign minister will reportedly make a trip to Europe next week in a visit that could include a diplomatic breakthrough. The Reuters news agency says Joseph Wu will visit Brussels and Prague and make a rare appearance with the Czech president at a security conference. European leaders do not usually share the stage with senior Taiwanese officials because of pressure from Beijing. China claims sovereignty over Taiwan and condemns any form of contact between Taiwanese and foreign officials. TaiwanPlus reached out to the foreign ministry, which said it had no comment on the report. A Taiwanese academic who was spent 4 years in prison in China has been released, but he's still not allowed to leave the country. Louise Watt reports.
Taiwanese academic Cai Qin-shu has just been released from a Chinese prison after 4 years. He was convicted of espionage and made to confess to the crime before Chinese state media.
我在大陆20几年了，一来追随前辈从事两岸交流活动，但是却被军情局利用，作为危害大陆国家安全的一个行为。
But Tsai still can't return home because his sentence included an additional 4 years of what China calls deprivation of political rights. So now he's restricted to a small island off Xiamen City, Gulanyu. The Taiwanese group that acts as a go-between has called on China to respect his human rights.
蔡金树先生出狱之后呢，本会呢有与他的家属以及他本人呢保持联系哦，那呢关心他的近况以及需求，适时的提供各项协助啊，呼吁陆方必须要依法呢来保障他的人身安全与合法的权益。
Taiwanese activist Li Mingzhe, who was imprisoned in China for 5 years, criticised the practice of keeping some former Taiwanese prisoners in the country after their time behind bars has ended. Unlike Li, who is a pro-democracy activist, the still detained Tsai advocated unification between Taiwan and China, and his detention surprised many. With tensions high between the two governments, Taipei has warned its citizens of the risk of arbitrary detention in China. And Tsai's situation is more evidence justifying that concern. Alex Chen and Louise Watt for TaiwanPlus.
A group of students from Taiwan will be traveling to Beijing to have exchanges with Chinese universities. But some in Taiwan are concerned the trip could be part of efforts from China to influence Taiwanese students. Bing Wang reports.
A group of Taiwanese students is going to China for a 10-day trip. The visit is organized by the All China Federation of Taiwan Compatriots, a Chinese-run group. Those participating will have exchanges with universities in Beijing and visit famous sites around China. It comes as tensions between Taiwan and China are at the highest in decades, but the students said this shouldn't prevent exchanges in other areas.
中国的议题对台湾来说可能有一点敏感，但是在学术交流上面还是可以开放。
Some are calling this trip China's attempt to influence young Taiwanese people with United Front tactics. China's United Front is a political strategy used by the Chinese government that aims to promote its policies around the world, including what it calls unification with Taiwan. But the approach has also been criticized for limiting dissent.
也章程来列下的，它是一个由共产党领导的组织啊，所以这个很明显的，在从过去他们办的活动的照片里面，然后出席名单里面也有中国的统战部。
Taiwanese officials are also worried some students could be detained or harassed for making unfavorable remarks about China in the past. But not everyone is concerned.
两岸就交流是正当的行为嘛，去学习嘛，应该有兴趣去影响他们啊，不然我们开放大陆学生来这边读书干什么？台湾的伟大就是言论自由，各自解读了，各自表述了。
China often uses United Front tactics to influence Taiwanese people. Officials here will be watching the trip closely to make sure the students are able to view any information they receive with a critical eye. Klein Wang and Bing Wang for TaiwanPlus.
In Taiwan, a petition calling for a 4-day working week has garnered enough signatures to demand a government response. But as James Chater reports, challenges to implementing the policy remain.
This petition on a public policy website calls for a 4-day workweek in Taiwan. As more than 5,000 people have now signed it, the government has to discuss a proposal. Taiwan's Labour Ministry said there's a strong case for it, but that a 3-day weekend could worsen labour shortages and increase pressure on other public services.
包括从教育面，那学生的这个上课时数如果集中，那要不就是一天上的时间长，要不然的话就是寒暑假可能都要减少。
Taiwanese have long endured lengthy work hours. Many put that down to the legacy of Taiwan's industrialization. In the 1970s, labour-intensive manufacturing made the country rich. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, many around the world, including here in Taiwan, have questioned their work-life balance. No country has yet implemented a 4-day working week, but calls for shorter working hours are growing louder. This year, the UK conducted the world's largest trial of a 4-day work week, and it's yielded positive results. Among more than 3,000 employees, 71% said they felt less burnt out. From around 60 participating companies, 92% said they would continue with a shorter work week after the trial. 30% made the change permanent. The US mandated a 2-day weekend in 1940, but it was more than 60 years later that Taiwanese government employees could enjoy the same privilege. Unions say protecting that basic right first should be the priority.
现在周休2日的落实程度就已经不理想了啊，所以我们应该是先把这个周休2日落实之后，然后再来看说，是不是可以鼓励一些企业，他们可以去实验这样的一个方式。
More countries are now experimenting with a 4-day work week, but despite the petition, Taiwan is still away from putting it into practice. Patrick Chen and James Chater for TaiwanPlus.
A rehabilitated Formosan black bear has been found dead in the wild less than 3 months after it was released. Leslie Liao has more.
The proud, majestic Formosan black bear is one of Taiwan's most iconic animals. Unfortunately, it's also one of the country's most threatened species and is listed as endangered. The government goes to great lengths to protect it, but more work needs to be done. Less than 3 months ago, a rehabilitated bear was released back into the wild. In early June, conservationists found that the bear's tracking collar registered that it had died. They traveled to central Taiwan to see what happened.
收手后寻获黑熊遗体，左前肢受困套索，经解剖后推测死因与脱水有关。
There is already controversy in Taiwan over the type of trap the bear got caught in. Authorities are currently working to overhaul laws on trapping, but they're reluctant to ban snare traps outright because they hold cultural significance for some of the country's indigenous groups. But there are calls to at least remove traps from areas where the bears are known to roam.
这已经是今年第3起台湾黑熊中山猪吊死伤的案例，所以我积极的呼吁政府应该针对黑熊分布的热区，尤其在熊出没频繁的地区，应该要移除所有的陷阱。
If rehabilitated black bears are released only to meet such a cruel end, it might be a sign that Taiwan's conservation efforts are stuck in a trap of their own. Patrick Chen and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus.
A total of 438 bluefin tuna were brought to a fishing harbor in southern Taiwan in a single day, setting a new record. This has been a bumper year for bluefin tuna at Donggang Fishing Port. More than 4,000 catches are expected this season, which will end soon. With more fish coming in, the average auction price has also dropped.
交易量大概总共是411尾哈，那目前已经是我们近10年来单日成交量最高的尾数了。比较好的大概1公斤是成交是450，那比较最低的大概是110左右。
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally today, we leave you with images of the world's largest ruby. It sold at auction for $34.8 million, setting a new record. I'm Erica Liu. Take care and see you next time.